We're going live. And we're live. Hello. Welcome everyone to Couch Pundits Cricket Podcast on the Couch Pundits Sports channel. We do this every Wednesday. So welcome to all those who are coming back, and a special welcome to all those who are joining us for the first time. With me today, I have Asjad. Welcome, Asjad. He hosts a cricket podcast of his own. It's called Cricket for Us. You can check it out on YouTube. Link is there in the description. And it's a really good podcast, and he does really fun things with it. So go check it out, guys. Welcome, Asjad. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Like I said before we joined, I feel like I've made it big now that I'm on the Couch Pundits couch, basically, right? So I'm super excited. Thank you for having me on. Yes, I do cricket podcasts, I do cricket reviews, things like that. But it's a genuine pleasure to be here. And hello to everyone who is watching me for the first time. Hi. If you already know who I am, then thank you for joining, man. Honestly, and yeah, very excited to talk all things cricket with this week, man. Honestly, it's been, even after what's happened in the last week and a bit, there was still quite a bit of news on the back of it. So yeah, very excited.
There was still quite a bit of news. You're right, and like Asjad was saying, this is the weekly cricket podcast. So what we're going to try and do is cover the events that happen in the week of cricket. And starting with let's start off with the end of the IPL a little bit, because there is still a bit to unbox over there, not just cricket wise, but the way a lot of the travel arrangements and all of that has been handled, the players that have been sent back. All efforts have been taken by all franchises, including BCCI. That's not a franchise, but including BCCI and all franchises have taken pains to ensure that all the foreign players, especially, get to their destinations safe and sound, except Australians, of course. And Mark Slater has been quite vocal about that, but sorry, it is what it is. But Michael Slater, sorry. So yeah, thoughts on the IPL postponement, and when do you think it'll happen now, if at all?
Right. Okay. So this is where I've changed my mind a couple of times, and now I've just held to one opinion, which is it was the right thing to happen. Considering what's going on in the country as well as the world, it was probably the right thing to happen, especially so many cases and all that stuff. Okay. Cricket should not take priority over human life. That's a phrase I've heard. That's a phrase I believe in. So I think that was the good thing about postponing it. However, as you probably know, a lot of people are watching this. Let's say if someone's in isolation, okay? If someone's in quarantine or something and they have nothing to do, watching IPL, those 3.5, 4 hours, or considering IPL 4.5 hours sometimes, okay? Right? All of those matches would give you a little bit of an escape for that little amount of time. It would make you feel as though, let me concentrate on this. Let me concentrate on this. Then this is done. Then you can think about everything else. So it's good for those people, but it's not that good for those people, but even as a whole, I think it was the right decision. And as you mentioned, the travel arrangements, except Australia, and we don't need to go into it, but except Australia, all the other countries are happy to accept their players back, okay? With quarantine or whatever, or no quarantine, depending on if you're going to South Africa or whatever. So it's good that they took those steps in ensuring people are getting back to their places. And even in terms of, there was talks about, what if the IPL is only postponed for a week? Okay. And then they come back. I was like, that is not going to happen. If the Indian players are going back home.
Happened for about 30 seconds. Okay. There were 2 tweets within those 30 seconds, and people were already like, no, it's not happening.
It was great. So I think the big takeaway was that they have some sort of arrangements. The arrangements are done. People are going back. Players are going back. New Zealand, as we know, Trent Boult has gone back to New Zealand rather than going just to Maldives and then back to the UK. So there's a lot of traveling happening right now, but it's good that everyone is getting to where they needed to be in the right state of mind. And this might actually give a break to some of the international players for India and other international players for New Zealand and England, etc., because they will have some time to themselves. Mental health is a real big thing right now, especially in bubbles. They go from one bubble to another. At least they get a week and a half, 2 weeks off, so they can spend time with their families. They can kind of relax. Yes, you can't relax completely, you can kind of relax. So I think that's good in terms of steps that they took, honestly. And yeah, it's sad, but I think it'll return probably September at the earliest. I spoke to someone about this, saying maybe it could be July. Lekin phir ye aage, no, we're playing Sri Lanka in July, so ain't happening, right? Not gonna happen. So
Yeah.
September is the earliest and the latest they can probably have it. Okay, then no, if it doesn't happen in September, then I don't think there will be a commencement to IPL 2021, and they'll just give it to Delhi because they're at the top, or maybe give it to Chennai, maybe they give it to CSK, maybe
They're
they do
not
it.
going to give it to anyone. If it does not get concluded, it is going to get concluded. We've seen this happen with the PSL, who is still trying to conclude the remainder of the season that they had to suspend because of
Yeah.
COVID. It's still not happened.
No,
There are talks of UAE taking it up soon.
they've said
but
no.
they've
They've
said
actually
no.
said no.
So
They've
they're
banned
saying,
Pakistan. They've spoken to
Jeez.
UK, right? They've banned Pakistan in general. They've spoken to the UK, right? The
Okay.
UK hasn't given an answer yet for the PSL, but there's some inside stories and there's an inside scoop on Couch Pundits today. The inside scoop is the matches will probably go ahead in Karachi, but players like Shakib Al Hasan not going to join. Andre Russell might. So a lot of players will actually not be joining the PSL, you know, the overseas players. So they'll have to get last minute additions, you know, which is not the best thing. But if they want to go ahead with the tournament, if they're going to have it in Pakistan, I don't think it should happen in Pakistan. If it's going to happen, it should happen in the UAE. Personally, that's my take on it. They handled IPL 2020 so well that apart from jo pehle 2-3 cases hoye the initially, I can't remember any other cases throughout the tournament. But in India and in Pakistan, we've seen cases go up and down in both ends. So yeah, PSL might be not impossible, but it's an 80% chance that it's not happening. That's my take on it, at least.
Yeah. What does chat think? Welcome all you guys in the chat. Welcome to our regulars. Devansh Shaju, hello to you. Smayan says Kushal Perera has been named the captain of Sri Lanka in ODIs. That's good news for him personally. And we will come to Sri Lanka. We're talking about the IPL right now because why not? Saurav Ganguly has come out and said that if the IPL does not happen, it's going to cost them a lot of money. He gave a figure of 2,500 crores Indian rupees. So that's the loss that they expect to face if the IPL is not concluded. Having said that, and no offense to the PSL, but there aren't as many foreign stars in the PSL as there are in the IPL. High-profile foreign stars in the PSL. Of course, there are quite a few, and the numbers have been increasing constantly as the league gets bigger and better. But do you think the IPL would take that route? There have been talks of putting it in that window right before the T20 World Cup. And already ECB and the New Zealand Cricket Board have said that we're not going to make it if you have it in September. तो हम लोग तो नहीं आने वाले, और अगर इंग्लैंड नहीं आएगा, न्यूजीलैंड नहीं आएगा, तो मतलब quite a lot of players will be missing, right?
Yeah.
So do you see IPL happening like that without all of these foreign players? Or
So
do you
this is the
think
thing.
BCCI is going to be like, guys, come on, guys?
BCCI can do two things. Number one is dikhayenge and then people might show up.
BCCI can't do two things. BCCI can do anything. That's the words you must use.
Exactly. So they can do anything. But one of the points I want to mention, this was before the IPL got postponed. Saurav Ganguly has actually said, we're happy to, aid all of these guys, aid all of these players who want to return to their homes, but we'll still stick with the IPL. So maybe that's something that could happen, right? Maybe they do hold IPL in a slightly off state rather than having it as complete IPL. It's more of an IPL and a half or 1.5, something like that, rather than a 2.0, if you know what I mean. It's not as good because you're not going to have half the players there.
Right. Well, meanwhile, Shashank has joined us. Hi, Shashank. How are you? If you can just turn your phone into portrait mode, that'll be great.
एक second. Yes, I guess.
Landscape mode, not portrait mode. Sorry. Yeah, perfect. हाँ, तू थोड़ा नीचे चला गया, but
yes. मैं figure कर रहा हूँ.
Shashank, say hi to Azjad. Azjad, say hi to Shashank.
Hi, hello.
Hi, Shashank.
So yeah, we were just talking about तेरा favorite topic, IPL. So मतलब होगा कि नहीं होगा? What is your take on this?
यार
meanwhile Shashank has joined chat, like ठोक दो उसके लिए, just late आया, दुरुस्त आया, देर आया.
I had ऐसा पहले मैं लैपटॉप से ज्वाइन कर रहा था, फिर पता चला लैपटॉप काम नहीं कर रहा है. बट मुझे लगता है यार विंडो इज द मेन प्रॉब्लम ना. विंडो मिलना तुमको लगता है क्योंकि क्वारंटाइन तो अगर रहेगा ही रहेगा, अगर इफ देयर इज क्वारंटाइन तो 14 दिन का विंडो. एंड मैं क्रिक इन्फो पे पढ़ रहा था सब जगह एवरी टीम इज प्लेइंग सम मैचेस हियर और देयर, तो वो ऐसा विंडो मिलना बहुत मुश्किल है कि इंग्लैंड तो हाँ इंग्लैंड तो हैज कंप्लीटली पुल्ड आउट, तो वो गया. हाँ तो
और अगर विंडो मिल भी गया ऐसा टाइम पे मिलेगा जहाँ पे इंटरनेशनल स्टार्स नहीं आ पाएंगे ना. इंग्लैंड ने लाइक यू सेड हैव ऑलरेडी पुल्ड आउट. न्यूजीलैंड वी वर जस्ट टॉकिंग हैज पुल्ड आउट. नेक्स्ट यू नो लाइक ऑस्ट्रेलिया विल आल्सो बी लाइक अरे ये वो दिस दैट एंड द अदर. इंग्लैंड नहीं आ रहा, न्यूजीलैंड नहीं आ रहा, तो हम लोग को भी मतलब यू नो लाइक वन ऑफ दोस किड्स हु आर यार मैन आई वुड लव टू हैव दैट. आई मीन इमेजिन जसप्रीत बुमराह bowling to Babar Azam at Wankhede. That's just going to be insane. But it's not
ball, golden duck. That's
right?
what we'll see, right? That's what we'll see. Golden duck, Yorker coming in and taking that middle stump out.
No. Bumrah bowls often to the number 1 T20 batsman and the number 1 ODI batsman in the world, and former number 1. Former number 1. And he gets him, but golden duck बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं होता है, so I expect something similar from Babar Azam. But yeah. IPL तो मेरे को नहीं लगता है होने वाला है ये साल. नेक्स्ट ईयर जाके कंक्लूड करेंगे पोस्ट वर्ल्ड कप. मीनवाइल वर्ल्ड कप भी नहीं होगा इंडिया में, UAE. But हाँ, that we'll come to that bridge when we cross it. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. What am I saying? Yeah. So moving on from this ridiculous league that had to happen and then had to be cancelled. We'll jump straight into the Zimbabwe-Pakistan Test series before we go to India versus England and the rest of it. Azad, you told me that you were following the Test series, so if you could just give us a little bit of a wrap and a roundup around that.
Yeah, of course. So Pakistan won the series 2-0, obviously, but they weren't as convincing as they would have thought they were going to be. Babar Azam got his first ever golden duck in Test cricket against Blessing Muzurbani, who is a guy who's had his number for quite some time. There were good performances from both ends. There were good performances from Zimbabwean batsmen. We saw Brendan Taylor do something. Chakabwa scoring over 100 runs in total in that second game. In terms of the bowling, Jongwe, Tirapano, Muzurbani, and Garava, like all of them bowled well, but because the pitch was fairly flat for most of it, the Pakistani batsmen found it quite easy to bat there. We saw Abid Ali score a double 100 against Zimbabwe, the highest score for a Pakistani against Zimbabwe in Test cricket. I'm surprised there weren't many 300s there, but he's the highest scorer now. And then Fawad Alam doing his, celebration of getting 100 with the Ertugrul stuff. And
how many
Hassan Ali,
is that on the trot for Fawad Alam?
I think that's 4. If I'm not wrong, I think that's 4. Yeah,
4 on the trot. Is that a world record? I think it is.
It's almost there. It's almost a world record. I think this 5 is the record. So he needs to pass this to become the record holder.
Okay.
But he didn't score one in this one, right? He didn't score one in the second game. So the world record is gone. And last point is Hassan Ali. His return into Test cricket has been fantastic. Since the Quaid-e-Azam Trophy, the domestic tournament, the first class tournament in Pakistan, he's actually improved a lot with the ball, but also in the batting. He did smash a few sixes when he came into bat. And with the ball, what do you get? 14 wickets in 4 innings or something, right? So yeah, he's on a roll. Everyone else, I think Pakistan underperformed because I expected them to win both matches in like 2.5 days. But the second match actually went
no.
Just
if
over
you
3
say
days.
things, if that happens, then people will be like, "Oh, the pitch is not right." Like this is not a game where one team is way more skilled than the other. No. It's the pitch. If a match finishes in 2 days, it's the pitch that is the problem completely. How can you have test matches finishing in 2.5 days, man?
फिर माइकल वॉन का ट्वीट आ जाता.
हाँ, वही ना. And we will come to some tweets by some commentators, but before that, like ठोक दो guys, stream पे like कर दो तो ज़्यादा लोग को ये reach होगा और ज़्यादा लोग देखेंगे. And if you guys like the content that we're putting out, please subscribe to the channel. Meanwhile, Optimistical Guruji, who is a regular in our chat and a statistician, has said Fawad Alam has the best conversion rate in world cricket currently when it comes to tests. Now imagine if he had played test cricket for a regular player's career time. Imagine.
He's
But
36. He's 36 now. Okay. I remember when Fawad Alam came into the scene, Ravi Jadeja came into the scene, and I genuinely said to myself back in 2008, 2009, these two are similar players. Both of them will do well, right? Ravi Jadeja stuck with India, came in, came out, and then became a staple. Fawad Alam was kicked out after 2009 in tests and then brought back in 2020 after scoring a bucket load of runs and averaging 56 in first class cricket for years, man. Years. Same things happened to Tabish Khan. He debuted, by the way. Another fact, he debuted finally after, how long is it? I think he started first class cricket in 2002. And he gets a debut in 2021.
20 years.
He's not going to be
ridiculous.
I know. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things that have happened. But yeah, all in all, I think Pakistan won, which was exactly what Pakistan needed, and Misbah ul Haq needed to say, "Hamari team achhi hai abhi tak. We can beat any side." And then most of the matches are against Zimbabwe. But let's not go there.
Shashank, did you read this quote by a certain gentleman called Ramiz Raja about whether or not Zimbabwe should play Test cricket?
Oh, हाँ, मैंने ऐसा कुछ तो पढ़ा था. What is the quote?
So Ramiz Raja said Zimbabwe should not be playing Test cricket after looking at the performances. A team which managed to get Babar Azam for a golden duck. Okay. They're saying Zimbabwe should not be playing Test cricket. I think it's quite ridiculous. I don't think Ramiz Raja is right in saying that. No disrespect to him, but it's just like a bit out of line there. Who is he to decide whether or not they should be playing Test cricket?
Yeah, and I mean, look, when teams begin to play Test cricket, they will suck. Zimbabwe has a very volatile cricket history. Like, they are not the kind of team. They're not the kind of team who play constant cricket. So you'll have to factor that in also. You can't compare their progress to, say, an India or a Bangladesh or a Pakistan who have so much better resources. I think Zimbabwe has the worst resources like right now. Or unka geopolitical situation is also difficult. So, aisa can't pass such offhand comments, man. If you're such a respected
these conditions will only improve if teams go and play with them. Like if they go there and they play with them, then they'll get more money because they'll get viewership, this, that, and the other. Then probably they'll have better resources. Plus they'll be competing against better teams, so they will get better by default. You've seen that happen with a team like Afghanistan, who has just like gone from just a gritty team to like a very highly skilled team now. So, yeah, man. Arshad, what are your thoughts? I especially want your thoughts on, firstly, on Ramiz Raja in general, and secondly, on what he said right now.
Okay, so Ramiz Raja, I actually have a video with him on my channel for like 2-3 minutes. So I'm not going to disparage him too much, but all I will say, you can consider him probably the best English speaker in Pakistan for cricket, right? So whatever he says kind of sticks somewhere, okay? Which is why whenever he comments on anything, everyone watches his videos. Everyone wants to address what's happened. In terms of the comment, if you look at the reasoning behind it, you understand where he's coming from, but you don't say that, okay? Matlab, there's certain things you should say and certain things you shouldn't say. Even if it might make sense to most people, his reasoning is Pakistan should have played South Africa for 3 test matches and played Zimbabwe for 1 test match. What that would have done was give Pakistan a fairly decent team to play like South Africa, but also play against Zimbabwe and give them a bit more exposure. That's the reasoning behind it. But what he said was, I think, as you directly pointed out, that they shouldn't be playing test cricket. I think that's not the right way to expand the sport. There's only 12 test nations. But aur kitni teams kam karni hai to play test matches, right? Ireland, Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, and Bangladesh are the newest additions since 1999. Okay, which is a shock. 22 years, there's only 4 extra teams that have shown up in Test cricket. And then you look at the T20s, where they're expanded to 108 teams apparently, right? How many of them play against India, Australia? How many of them even play against Afghanistan, right? Netherlands keeps beating teams, or whoever it is. Was it Belgium or like Nepal? Nepal keeps winning, but they don't get a chance to play against Afghanistan that much. They don't get a chance to play against Sri Lanka, South Africa, even if it's not even if it's not the top 4, as I like to call them, India, Australia, England, and New Zealand, right? Even if it's the other bundle, matlab Pakistan, South Africa, West Indies, Sri Lanka, if they get a chance to play against them, that's a good thing for the sport. And that expands the sport rather than, just making it an elitist thing, if you know what I mean. That's my take on it, at least.
I agree. And, like we've always maintained this, that a test match is fun to watch when the teams are evenly matched, or at least sort of evenly matched, where a team has a chance to compete against the other one. And yes, oftentimes, you will see a test match going one way for a really long time and then the fight back by the lesser skilled team. But when there is such a gap of skill, it really shows out in a test match. Like it's very evident to see that when the teams are completely mismatched. So a test match between India and Australia is really fun to watch. But a test match between like India
Pakistan and Zimbabwe.
Pakistan and Zimbabwe. It's such a one-sided affair that it is not fun to watch for the viewers, like the public at large. It's not going to have so much fun. Like, yes, as a Pakistani fan, you will enjoy the fact that Pakistan has won the game, but it's not that much fun to watch, right? Shashank will agree. Like watching those India-Australia tests, even when India was like fighting for survival at Sydney, it was amazing.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I believe you remember 2017 में Australia-Bangladesh का series हुआ था when Australia had gone to Bangladesh, जहाँ पे Bangladesh had won the first test match and then they had lost the other one. तो फिर बात ये भी है कि उस केस में like when an underrated team wins, so those are the kind of wins that you remember for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
So it goes, I think, both ways कि हाँ एक तरफ की बहुत ज्यादा one sided हो जाता है तो बहुत boring हो जाता है. But by any chance, if Zimbabwe were to win, like just imagine the euphoria. कि फिर वो जो feelings, the सारे articles वगैरह.
Just as from a Pakistani perspective, I remember, and this is quite recent, but Pakistan lost in the super over against Zimbabwe in Pakistan. That's something I'll remember for the next 10, 15 years. But I won't remember this test series. Right?
Nobody will.
I'll remember the 99 all out. I remember the 99 all out, right? Pakistan got against Zimbabwe, but I won't remember the 205 chase, even though I'd like to. I'd like to remember, okay, Babar Azam got 150 balls, but I won't. I'm telling you, I probably won't. I'll probably remember the bad more than the good. So yeah, I agree with you, Shashank, completely.
Yeah, and Chad seems to agree with Asjad's point also, like how Pakistan should play South Africa. They're like teams when they tour India should play a test against Afghanistan in Dharamshala, which is good. Like, maybe that should happen. One-off test matches against Afghanistan, it'll help them build their team as well, right? They will get experience and they will learn. And yeah, sorry, Shashank, you were saying?
मतलब मैं यही कह रहा था कि एक तो मतलब we all remember when Bangladesh knocked out India from the 2007 World Cup. Like who does not? It's very difficult that you don't remember that one वो. And secondly मैं बोल रहा था कि मतलब जो भी ये teams हैं Zimbabwe, Ireland, Nepal, I don't know why, but they should be playing more T20 cricket and then they should be progressing to I think test matches. उनको directly test match में डालना थोड़ा difficult है. Afghanistan also, if you see, Rashid Khan is not quite the bowler in test matches because bowling for 5 days consistently
he just takes 5-6 wickets every innings for fun. Not quite the bowler. But
he bowls 99 overs though. Like he bowled so, like if you look at its strike rate, it won't be, you can't compare him to, I can't think of a good leg spinner. I'll just say Yasir Shah for the sake of argument, okay? So you can't compare Rashid Khan to Yasir Shah, but what you can say is Rashid Khan compared to all the other nations that are fairly new to test cricket, he's very good in that front, but he doesn't get an opportunity to play against India that often, but maybe he should play against Australia, England, and then we'll see how good he actually is in test cricket. Playing at Zimbabwe in UAE, getting, what was it, seven wickets and then 4 wickets in the first innings is great. Lekin, I think you need that extra factor where you play against teams that are even higher up, because that will give you more confidence. And that's probably what he's doing. He plays in the IPL, he plays in the BBL, plays in the PSL, however many matches he's played. So he gains that confidence,
Yeah, of
but
course,
the rest of the
he's
team
gaining
doesn't.
that experience and that confidence by playing against all of these international players. And like we've seen this, all these products of IPL, Indian players especially, have just, like you saw what they went and did in Australia. Like they didn't have that fear only, oh, we're playing against international cricket. Natarajan has bowled against David Warner so many times. Like when he comes on to bowl in that in the last test match, he's not like, oh, it's David Warner. It's just like, अरे तो David है, वो TikTok पे नाचता है. You know, मैं उसकी बच्ची को खाना खिलाया है जब वो हैदराबाद आए थे तभी. So it's like, it's that barrier is broken. And the same way, like all of these teams, if they get to play more, is the only way they'll improve. But we have maintained this at Couch Pundits that none of these cricket boards seem too interested in promoting the game. Everyone is more or less interested in personal benefits and profits and whatever. Okay, let's look at chat a bit. There seems to be a lot going on in chat. Something about China funding African countries for political purposes. No, I don't want to talk about that. Optimistical Guruji saying Zimbabwe should play tests, that they have great players in Raza, Murzabani, Williams, and a lot others. Yes, they do. Sikandar Raza and Sean Williams are some amazing test match batsmen.
Sir, Sikandar Raza, Sean Williams, Craig Irvine weren't even in the squad because they were injured or whatever. Wesley Madavera wasn't playing. So Pakistan wasn't playing Zimbabwe. They were playing Zimbabwe B. Okay. So they were playing their B team. Why is Pakistan playing their A team bad against them? But yeah, I get that. I agree with you. They have some very, very talented players. Brendan Taylor, he played in the second match. He's very talented. He's been great for so long.
Absolutely. Nishant Rajkumar saying, do we think that the top team should have a B and C team that plays against the lesser nations? You know what? So we are going to see India play simultaneous tournaments right now with a different team in each of those tournaments, but we will come to that. While we're on this topic, I don't think it makes sense to have different teams for the same format though. There should be one team per format, so that what ends up happening is India can't be playing two ODIs on the same day in two different parts of the world. Because that will obviously affect a lot of the commercial interests, and your ODI team itself will, be a little weird also. So there should be different teams for different formats, and those teams should just play those formats if you want simultaneous things. Shashank, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, because it will give, I think, more exposure to teams like Afghanistan and Zimbabwe also. If India has the bench strength and they can send out that bench strength to other countries and they can play a tournament or a test match, or even India A bhi yaar. Agar India, if India can play an India A versus Bangladesh or Afghanistan, that is also nice. I don't know why. और जैसा अब bench strength है यार, उसके हिसाब से तो we can make now 3 teams. Like India can field, I think, 3 teams easily.
Quite easily. You've got ये जो 20 जा रहे हैं, England आ रहे हैं, and then you got the 20 that will potentially go to Sri Lanka. So easily done. And I know we're going to get on that topic, but just something as they said in terms of, sending 2 different teams. Just my thought is having the A team, that's why the A team exists. Okay. Yeah. It's to go to places for their exposure and that country's exposure. Why not India A, the actual India A, not, Sundar and all that, but like actual India A goes to play against Oman or Nepal or Netherlands or Scotland, right? Or Ireland, I wouldn't put it because they're now technically a test nation, but other countries like that, maybe Papua New Guinea, because I've heard they're really good too. So maybe that type of thing needs to come in. A lot of people might take that the wrong way of saying, हमें सिर्फ A team के खिलाफ खिला रहे हो, हमें कोई proper side नहीं मिल रही. But that's still so good that they will actually have competition. And that will help that team grow, right?
Absolutely.
T20 तो definitely खेलना चाहिए मुझे लगता है.
Agreed. T20 for sure.
हम इस समय इंडिया की बेस्ट टीम भूल गए यार, रोड सेफ्टी. Come on यार. I mean, we have that.
They could probably do that. They could probably go.
Shashank is the biggest fan of the Road Safety World Series. If possible, Shashank would get tickets and go watch those matches.
Done.
But
It was great.
If anyone has tickets for Road Safety World Series next year, please contact Shashank.
तो यार
He will, वो ब्लैक में खरीदेगा तुमसे.
हाँ
तुम
यार,
बोलोगे नहीं 50 रुपए की टिकट है, वो तुमको 100 रुपया देके लेगा.
अगले बार तो वैसे भी धोनी इज गोना फीचर, तो अलग ही मतलब नशा रहेगा यार.
Will he?
I think he showed time. It's about time. I mean,
फिर तो मैं भी जाऊंगा. फिर तो मैंने भी जाना है.
I saw this meme today कि Dhoni talking to, I don't know, some IPL player. He's like, तो क्या तुम मुझे IPL में भी farewell नहीं देना चाहते? This would have been his last season, you know. It might just be his last season.
no, I think he'll
And
play
he might-
two more seasons. I feel like 2 more.
क्या नहीं यार.
यार
Really?
देख, इस
I
सीजन में
feel there was that air about him this year where he was just like, I'm done.
देख इस सीजन में तो सीएसके का जैसा परफॉर्मेंस है, एंड दे वर सॉर्ट ऑफ दे वर द नंबर 1 टीम, एंड दे मतलब प्लेऑफ्स में उनको जाना ही था, तो दे हैड अ स्ट्रांग चांस ऑफ विनिंग दिस टूर्नामेंट. तो अगले साल फिर पक्का सॉर्ट ऑफ था ही. मतलब
What,
देख
अगले साल मेगा ऑक्शन है.
हाँ, so they'll I think buy a new captain and then ease him into captaincy.
Oh, no. Why would you not have Dhoni as captain? If Dhoni is in CSK, Dhoni is captain.
No.
Chat, what is this blasphemy Shashank is doing? He's
मैं वही
saying
कह रहा हूँ
CSK
कि-
should change their captain from MS Dhoni to somebody else while MS Dhoni is in the team. This is
Dhoni
ridiculous,
remains the-
Shashank. Please,
Dhoni
please,
remains-
no.
धोनी remains the captain. उसके अंडर जो आएगा वो सीखेगा. And I have a very strong intuition कि मुझे लगता है केन विलियमसन will be the one to lead Chennai. Is what I feel.
If Hyderabad don't retain him.
Yeah.
Right. I'll ask both of you a question क्योंकि मुझसे काफी लोगों ने पूछा and I gave a statement which I can't remember now, so maybe my answer is going to be different. But SRH, do they pick Warner, Bairstow, or Williamson? Because they can't. I don't think they can pick all three if they want people like Rashid Khan or Nabi or anyone, right? In the mega auction. So who do you drop out of those three?
I think Williamson is a sure shot pick for the retention. It's 3 foreign players, right? Maximum that they can retain. Rashid is the other one. So Williamson, Rashid are definitely being retained. Bairstow, Warner, depending on their performances in the World Cup, I think it'll come down to that.
I would also say Williamson and Rashid for sure. वैसे I would pick Warner, but then Warner is now getting old, so you can have Bairstow in front instead of him. But then the scene is कि Warner is an IPL legend. Like if you look at it that way, he's the most 50s. I think he has the record for the most 50s. तो वो बात भी है. हाँ.
And purple cap, orange cap holder for 3 years running. So it's just like it was a bit of a harsh move for Warner, stripping him of his captaincy this year. But that's just how this tournament works, man. It's cutthroat, and if you don't perform and you're a foreign player who cannot be dropped because of non-performances, you get dropped as captain and then you get dropped.
So what about Owen Morgan?
Owen Morgan का तो मतलब एक तो they changed him last year only was a problem. Okay, the thing was Andre Russell had an issue, and they can't make Andre Russell captain because I don't think he is quite there yet to be captain of an IPL franchise. He's a great star player, but I don't think he doesn't have it in him to captain the franchise. And you have Owen Morgan, who is a World Cup winner, captain. Why not?
By accident.
I mean,
You're saying that meeting that England had with Kumar Dharmasena the night before was an accident? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
But even though, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि next season KKR will give the captaincy to Shubman Gill. Next season and next to next.
Oh, they won't even retain him, man.
No, man. He is their future star. They're going to retain him for sure. And SRH ka, I don't know whom they should retain, but they should definitely drop Pandey if they want to like get their team somewhere. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Meanwhile, guys, we have more concurrent viewers and fewer likes. Please hit that like button and get those to an equal level so that, again, more people start watching this. Okay, moving on. Let's jump right into it. The test squad for India. That has been announced for the World Test Championship final and the England tour. It's a 20 plus 4-person squad. And for those of you who are not aware what it is, just like go look it up on the Couch Pundits Instagram page. It's right there. We've made a post about it. So yeah, and everywhere else on the internet. Okay, notable misses in the test squad. We'll start with that first. Bhuvneshwar Kumar not getting picked. Maybe a little expected. शशांक हैज दिस थिंग अबाउट भुवनेश्वर कुमार कि वो साल में 15 मिनट के लिए तो फिट रहता है. उसमें तो उसको टेस्ट मैच खिलाओगे तो बेचारे का क्या होगा.
लुक, जैसे मैंगो का एक सीजन होता है ना कि like 2 months in a year when you can like enjoy mangoes. ना वैसे ही भुवनेश्वर कुमार, they're just like 2 months in a year where he's fit to play.
Where's IPL?
हाँ. And anyway, I think, I don't know, man, even if he was fit, you wouldn't gamble upon him, right? Because he's not played test cricket for so long. So, you don't know, and you don't want to play him above, say, a Bumrah or a Shami or an Ishan. There's no way he's going to surpass all three of them. So, wo bhi, I think, dicey hai.
Yeah, but the way he was bowling in the series before the IPL and in the IPL, he just looked absolutely insanely like he was back to his original form. Like Bhuvneshwar Kumar was great. Then he started getting those injuries. He was still very good. And then just before he went off on his long injury thing, he was not quite there. He's come back and gone back to his original levels. Ajit, your thoughts on Bhuvi missing out from the squad?
I think the way I saw it was it made sense because, you know, coming back from injury, you can't really put him straight into test cricket, right? That's like saying, okay, T20 mein 5 matches khel liye, now let's go play test cricket. That's not the right setup for that. So I think this is good that they've included him to the, or they might include him for, you know, the potential tour of Sri Lanka. But right now, I think this was the right call because India has Ishant Sharma, Mohammad Siraj, Mohammad Shami, and Jasprit Bumrah in the squad, right? As their like 4 main bowlers. Shardul Thakur you can add in there as well if you want to. Okay? But those 4 guys, adding Bhuvi in there would actually confuse things. And if Bhuvi isn't completely fit, then it's probably not the right thing to do, right? So I think it kind of, in terms of patterns, I think it makes sense. They expected Bhuvi injure hoga, phir jab वापस आएगा, he can play a white ball for a little while. And if he stays fit, then bring him into red ball cricket. I think that's why, you might ask me this as well, but that's why I think it makes sense Hardik Pandya ko inhone nahi rakha because he is a good batsman. There's no doubt about that. But you need him for his bowling as well. Otherwise, another batsman can easily replace his position. So I think in terms of that setup.
As far as the final is concerned, I think the first 11 is pretty much, barring any injuries, is pretty much set, and we'll come to that. But I was expecting Bhuvi to come back for the England series, given that he's had much success in England in red ball cricket in the past. But given the current situation of quarantine and this and that, maybe they didn't want to risk him going there. Plus, I think they'd already decided that they're going to be playing white ball cricket simultaneously in Sri Lanka. So Bhuvi can be used there and prep him for the World Cup a little bit. The next one, and Ajit brought this up, is Hardik Pandya. And I agree with you. Hardik Pandya gets picked for test matches if he is bowling. If he is not bowling, he is not getting into those top 5 or top 6 batting positions in the Indian test team. Shashank, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, and abhi uska all-rounder spot mein uska direct competition bhi Ravindra Jadeja se hai. So there's no way he's as good as Ravindra Jadeja or even Ashwin right now. So it doesn't make sense. और उसकी बैटिंग भी लॉन्ग फॉर्म वाली बैटिंग हमने देखी नहीं. Like he's not played Ranji or anything. He's only played T20s and ODI. So, and I think there's no harm if Hardik decides to focus on, like, say, ODIs and T20s and becomes a great finisher, which we need. So, for that, even if he has to sacrifice his test career, I don't think that's a problem. But right now, I don't think he can get into the team.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. The next one is just like the saddest story of all time. Like it's Kuldeep Yadav, guys. We've spoken about him so much. Kuldeep Yadav is a fantastic bowler. and I expected him to do a lot better than he did. But after that match against England, where Kuldeep and Chahal were torn apart by Morgan, especially, and the rest of England in the World Cup, both of them seem to have just become different bowlers than they were before that game. I feel like that game has had a lot of impact on both of them.
Yeah.
And then they were separated. They never played together after that. And all their stats show that when they play together, they play really well. They take a lot of wickets. And after that, I think Kuldeep's confidence has taken such a hit, especially because at least Chahal is playing some white ball cricket for India and he's picking up wickets. What are your thoughts on this, Ajad? Do you think Kuldeep is a little unfair to miss out on this?
I think initially it was unfair to, keep him out and then in, then out, then in. So if they'd persisted with him and then he had a bad stint of form, I think he might have still stuck around in the squad. But in this instance, we've noticed, not after that match against England, since then, Kuldeep Yadav's bowling, wherever I've seen it, just looks a bit faded. He looks like a guy who's lost all his confidence. Doesn't matter who gives you confidence, you need to get confidence as well. It's not that bas confidence yahan se pakda isko de diya. You have to gain confidence in some sort of way, and that's something that Kuldeep Yadav seems to have lost. He took 1 or 2 wickets in the test match, right? Recently. Yeah. But England. he was their third or fourth spin option. He's not their genuine spin option at all anymore. Or Yuzvendra Chahal ka to yaar wo different story hai. Last year he came in instead of concussion sub, and I was like, Chahal is back. Yes, next match 40 runs. Next match 40 runs. Chodo yaar. Kya matlab? There's no point. Genuinely, that's what I thought. So both of them have lost confidence. At least Chahal is still got some sort of weightage within the Indian setup, though they might play him in white ball cricket. But yeah, Kuldeep Yadav is a very sad story. But I think Ben Stokes ended his career with the 99 or whatever he scored. I can't remember, but he just smashed him all over the place. And I said it to many different people that Ben Stokes smashed Kuldeep Yadav into international retirement. Definitely. I don't see Kuldeep Yadav coming back.
Shashank? Shashank's favorite player, Kuldeep Yadav, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry.
I don't know. But I don't know why I'm very invested into Kuldeep Yadav. एक तो चीज है कि you remember when
जात का है ना उसका
क्या
वो तेरे जात का है ना इसलिए
यार when Ben Stokes got hit for you remember 4 sixes yeah I thought that was the end of his
I remember the name also
yeah क्या नाम था
Brathwaite
Carlos Brathwaite
yeah I thought that was the end of
his clearly don't Michael Holding ने इतना बोला था
remember the name. मेरे को ये याद है remember the name, but I don't remember the name. I only remember that phrase, remember the name. So when
I follow his dog also on Instagram,
Man,
Carlos Brathwaite's dog.
Carlos Brathwaite. So I thought that was the end of Ben Stokes' career. But the way he has come back, तो मुझे लगता है कुलदीप के लिए भी obviously there's hope. Also, one good thing to remember is that Kuldeep is just 26, where Chahal is 30. So Kuldeep has a lot of time on his hands, and I definitely think that he can make a comeback. I also feel that Kolkata will let him go this year, and maybe Chennai will pick him up, and then he'll be again Dhoni again under Dhoni again.
That would be cool.
Yeah. And speaking of this, I think I was reading an interview of Kuldeep in Indian Express where he said that he was confused. A lot of people told him a lot of things, and he was down on confidence, and he was carrying drinks, and he was not feeling well, etc., etc. The usual things that happen. But every player goes through a phase like this, right? It's not like this is exceptional. This is happening only with Kuldeep. This happens with everyone. I think it's good if he's getting through it in the early phases of his career. It's okay, but I'm pretty sure that he'll come back, man. He's just too good to not come back.
That I agree with. I think he's too good. I just think India is developing so many other spinners right now that it'll be difficult.
Yeah, that's what. No, like everyone keeps saying he is too good to not come back, but he will come back if he's given a chance. He's just so unfortunate. Everyone was injured, and he still did not get picked for the last test in Australia. Natarajan got picked ahead of him. Washington Sundar, because they needed the balance. If Ashwin was fit, maybe we would have seen Kuldeep play. Ashwin wasn't fit, so they needed Washington to play in place of Ashwin. And
Yeah.
it was just like all the replacements who were brought in were picked ahead of someone who was already part of the squad. So it's just really difficult for him also. And Rahane said at the end of that tour that Kuldeep has played a very important role, even though he has not played matches, But like now it, those were just words because he's been dropped from the squad. So yeah.
I think it kind of makes
Meanwhile-
sense. Sorry to interrupt, just if they're
Yeah.
going to England, they're not going to bring Kuldeep Yadav in, right? Like logically speaking, if they're going to England, they'd go with Ashwin, Jadeja. I was actually surprised they went with Washington Sundar and Akshar Patel both, but that's just in case both of those get injured again, right? It's
yeah, but
just in
those are almost like for like replacements. No,
yeah.
Sundar replaces Ashwin and Akshar replaces Jadeja. Maybe Sundar's batting is better than Ashwin's batting, and Jadeja's batting is better than Akshar's batting. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a very balanced thing.
Yeah.
So
तो मुझे लगता ही नहीं है कि जडेजा और अश्विन भी साथ में खेलेंगे. I have a feeling that they might just play one out of them. So at least in the initial few matches, मुझे लगता है, because
wait. You're talking about WTC final or England tour?
WTC final अभी. हाँ.
Are
But
you insane? So who are you going to drop? Okay, let's since we're here and chat has been going on about this. They want us to pick the 11 for the WTC final. And since you're talking about dropping one of Ashwin or Jadeja, I think you should go first. Meanwhile, chat, hit the like button on the stream, guys. There's still more concurrent viewers than likes. We cannot have that. Balance must be maintained at all times, yin and yang. Shashank, go for it. What is your predicted 11 for the WTC final?
Gill, Sharma, Pujara, Kohli, Rahane. कितने प्लेयर्स हो गए? 5 हो गए.
It's a team that picks itself. Yeah, 6 at Pant.
Pant at 6. Then you have 5 bowlers. तो मैं उसकी जगह I would play Vihari. Then I would have either Ashwin or Jadeja. I would have Ashwin. And then उसके बाद Bumrah, Shami, Ishan.
Bumrah, Shami, Ishan. I don't agree with you. I want to see what Ajjar has to say though.
I'd say top 6 is exactly the same.
Yeah.
My only point is with regards to, you're thinking Hanuma Vihari. He's had a terrible time in county. He's playing in England right now and he's not doing a great job. So if he improves, then maybe he's an option, maybe in the not in the World Test Championship final. I don't think. Maybe somewhere later down in the England series. That's my take on it. But then I would go. So top 6 is the same. Then Jadeja, Ashwin, Shami and Siraj, I'm confused about, but probably Shami straight away. And then Bumrah and Ishant Sharma, obviously. Ishant Sharma. So I think that pick.
I agree with Ajad over there. This is the team that picks itself. Jadeja is not a person you drop.
Look,
you've seen that.
I'll tell you why I think Jadeja might not play, because this is happening in England, right? Rohit is untested in England, okay? Gill is untested in England. Rahane is not in great form. Kohli has been dicey in England, okay? So when it comes to batting, we don't have like a very good batting record in England. And if I don't mind playing Jadeja, but we need an extra batsman. That might be now Jadeja or Vihari, whoever is more confident. But also the fact is that you don't really need 2 spinners in England. You don't need both Jadeja and Ashwin in England.
What? Why are you rating Jadeja as less of a batsman than Vihari? I don't see Jadeja, or I think Jadeja is as good, if not a better player.
Over the past 3 years, I think, or 2.5 years, Jadeja's batting average has been in the like almost 50 or something. He's doing great.
His batting average is second only to Virat Kohli in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
In the
then I'll have Jadeja, but then not Ashwin, because you need one spinner, man. I don't think you need more than one spinner. India, I don't think has ever played 2 spinners in England. Like the last time they went for the 5-test match series in 2018, they played only one of Jadeja and Ashwin. So I'm just reading into that.
So do you think, and sorry, I'm kind of just questioning because I want to understand where you're coming from, Shashank. But if you play Vihari, so do you use Vihari as a potential fifth bowler if need be? Because just 4 bowlers in England doesn't, or do you go with 4 pacers instead?
So the thing is that the last time when India toured England, they played 4 bowlers. They went with 4 bowlers. All the 5 test matches had 4 bowlers. So that is why I'm thinking that they don't really have any, there's no way they'll go with 5 when they went with 4 the last time is one thing. And then, Vihari can definitely, bowl some overs. And also the thing is there ki, Bumrah, Shami, Ishant and Ashwin or Jadeja, they are good enough bowlers is what I feel. Like batting mein is where we need, because all of them are sort of untested, and this has happened so many times with India ki India plays IPL and then they forget how to play test match for the next one. Like they can't even hold the bat and like it's just they're all over the place. And I'm very, very low on confidence about Rohit Sharma in England. I don't know why, but
he has found it difficult before. So I agree. I understand why people have that apprehension. His average outside India in Test cricket is under 30, but in India is over like 50, 60, whatever it is. So yeah, I understand where the reservation is. So do you think Mayank Agarwal is a better option than Vihari?
I mean, yeah, Mayank Agarwal definitely, but then Agarwal is not someone, Agarwal is not someone who plays at 5 or 6, is what I feel one. And again, the last knock that Vihari played was just like a monumental knock, the 3rd test match. So there's a reason to drop him. That will be really harsh on him, is what I feel. So I wouldn't have Mayank over Vihari, have Vihari and open with Gill and Sharma.
Okay.
Absolutely.
My questions are
agree
done.
with you there. But I still think neither of Jadeja nor Ashwin are in a droppable position right now. It's just unfortunate that Vihari got injured and had to be dropped. Ashwin after that has scored a century in India.
England in India. And
again, but still, you still have to bat. You think Ben Stokes and all are just going to come and give him कि चल तू 4 मार, चल तू ये कर, वो जोफ्रा मतलब जो सब लोग बॉल डाल रहे हैं यार.
I know, but
तो ऐसा मतलब you can't just put it's a feat to score a test match century wherever you're scoring it against whatever opposition. It's a test match century, so you cannot discount it. And his bowling, forget everything else. He's just everyone was like, oh, Ashwin cannot bowl overseas. You saw what he did in Australia. Okay, he has proven everyone wrong already. So I don't think either of Ashwin or Jadeja are in a position to be dropped from the squad, from the 11.
But then, do you think they can go with a seamer instead of one of Ashwin?
It's not required. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're playing the match at Southampton, which has already slightly more spin friendly than the rest of the grounds in the country. Obviously, the ones of not counting the ones that were fined by the counties for producing spin friendly wickets.
Counted.
But Southampton is a spin friendly ground. And why not play to your strengths? India has certain strengths. Why would you introduce a 4th seamer when your 3 seamers are good enough to do the job? Like you said, 4 bowlers are enough to do the job. So, and Jadeja, I am not even counting. Jadeja is the 5th bowler here.
Yeah.
And if Jadeja is the 5th bowler versus Vihari the 5th bowler, who do you pick?
But then
obviously Jadeja, he has an impact, just even for, if nothing, for his fielding. You cannot not pick Ravindra Jadeja. Chat will agree with me. They are going crazy. Shashank, since you have said that either one of Ashwin or Jadeja has to be dropped, the chat has just gone insane. They लोग गाली दे रहे हैं वो लोग कि शशांक को हटा. No, I'm just joking.
मेरे घर पे पत्थर
कोई नहीं बोल रहा है. But thoughts on how the pitch at Southampton will be? Some are saying spin, but it's England, so thoughts. I think Ashraf might be. Are they playing any county matches at Southampton right now?
They will be, and
right?
Yeah, GS Bowl. So I'm pretty sure they are. But just a point on that, it's spin friendly enough that you could go in with 2 spinners. That's what I think, and that's why, for me at least. And I know everyone's entitled to their opinion, but for me, that's why Jadeja gets into the side. You said something about his fielding. If you just wanted for his fielding, you just have someone like Pujara get injured in the first 5 seconds and just say, I'm going to sit out and then bat and sit afterwards.
But honestly, वो लोग बोलते हैं India cheating करता है.
But honestly, I think if I were to choose, I I just can't find a way to put Vihari in the side instead of Jadeja unless India has won 3-0 the entire series and then they want to try new players out. And for the World Test Championship,
we're still on the World Test Championship.
Oh no! I'm really sorry. Vihari to nahi aa raha.
Vihari is not playing the World Test Championship. This 11 is decided. Only thing that can change is obviously injuries might change a few things, and like if team balance is going because of injuries, then it could be a completely different thing. But only one change, maybe Mayank Agarwal instead of Shubman Gill, depending on a lot of factors here or there.
I think Shubman Gill will do quite well in the UK because he did well in Australia. He's just struggling in India. That's what I've seen.
And he's played a lot of India A matches in England.
Yeah.
So he's done well in those. And he's the future. So you invest in him rather than even if he doesn't do well.
You know who else is the future? You know who else is the future? It's called Prithvi Shaw. Who had yeah. And what have they done with him? They have relegated him to a non-test player now. Okay, and I am very upset with the selectors for this because he is a generational talent, and if they do not manage him properly, it is going to be a very unfortunate cricketing career of his.
Last time I spoke to you and Akash left the stream. He left the stream when I said Prithvi Shaw. Okay, and then he just makes runs upon runs. He scored fantastically in the Vijay Hazare. He absolutely blasts people away in the IPL. And it's like Prithvi Shaw. I don't think Prithvi Shaw should come back right now. I think give him like 6 months. Another first class season. I don't know if Ranji will happen later this year or not.
It's nothing. There is no first class cricket in India right now. All this this is my fear, okay? India has built up this insane talent pool where we can actually send out 2 squads at a time. On the basis of not just first class cricket, a lot of A grade cricket also, like India A teams touring around the globe. But it's a lot of first class cricket that we play, and for 2 years there has been no first class cricket played. So it's going to be quite tough to keep up those standards. So yeah. Meanwhile, like to do yaar. Matlab, smash that like button. Just do it. Like it. This is a nice stream. People are saying nice things in the chat section also, that they are liking the conversation. And
please subscribe. Please subscribe.
Yeah,
I've seen the subscription go up in this conversation. Okay, so keep doing it. Keep subscribing to the channel, man.
Yeah.
Rishabh Jain saying, I have my doubts about Gill opening in England, as well as his lack of footwork makes me question his inclusion. Man, it's not lack of footwork. It's not. Gill is also a very good player. और मतलब वो बिना footwork के तो ऊपर नहीं आएगा. तो उसका footwork है, and he's a fantastic player of the short ball also. So you know, against people like Neil Wagner, he'll be very useful. Having said,
go on.
Neil Wagner and Kyle Jamieson, who all like to bang the ball into the pitch and get it to bounce up, Shubman Gill will be quite useful. Optimistic Guruji is saying there is swing and seam on all 5 days and turn on last 2 days. 2 spinners seems like a possibility. Now see, if when Optimistic Guruji says 2 spinners seems like a possibility, why you should agree, because he is a statistics person. He does statistics when he says answers, not like us talking out of their ass types.
I am a troll. The opinion should also be considered. Okay? If he's a professional, then I'm a professional troll, man. Okay.
There you have it. Having said that, let's. Is there anything else you want to say about this World Test Championship final team?
I only want to say one thing, that I'm so glad that we do not have to discuss if Rishabh Pant will make the final 11 or not. I am so happy about it. Very happy.
Oh, I want that. I'm glad.
Who do you want to keep? Now you want like Rahul over Rishabh Pant. You want to say this?
No. I don't want to replace Rishabh Pant in this 11. No. I do want to talk about KL Rahul though. Now KL Rahul and Ridhiman Saha are subject to fitness clearance. We know KL Rahul just had to undergo a surgery for his appendix and all that. So, of course, he will probably be fit. But if India is playing white ball cricket simultaneously, should he be there bench warming? Because he is not going to get into the test side unless there are injuries. The opening slot, if it's not Gill and Rohit, will be Gill and Mayank or Rohit and Mayank. Yeah. First preference. If that doesn't work out, then maybe KL might come in. Having said that, should he not be playing white ball cricket here?
Yeah,
should he not be in that squad?
After the Australia series, I feel there is no such thing as too many injuries. Okay, so you never know. I mean, हो सकता है, like if you're going for say 5, if you're going to play 5 test matches, Rohit might not be in form and Mayank might not be in form. Then KL comes into the picture, and this is a way bigger series than like the white ball. We play with Sri Lanka every week, so even if we lose that, it's not a problem. But if we end up winning in England and Rahul ends up playing a role, that'll be huge, man.
Yeah.
And also maybe for the future tours also, Rahul is still young, has a chance at captaincy. So maybe it'll do better when he goes there the next time and gets a chance to play. So this time agar bench pe bhi rahega, to might get to learn something.
Absolutely. Oh, some statistics all from Guruji saying all the 23 wickets picked by pacers in the recent county game. Yeah, I'm assuming he's talking about a GS ball.
Yeah.
All 23 wickets picked by pacers. Shashank, there you have it.
आप नहीं मानोगे उनकी बात.
So remove Jadeja and Ashwin both.
Wait.
Siraj, Bumrah, Ishant.
Bumrah, Ishant, Umesh.
In fact, you pick all 11 pacers only.
Yeah, pick the new one also, na, the new guy who has been
Arzan Nagwaswala.
Yeah. Make him the captain. So make him the captain.
They will, instead of 20 wickets, they will all 11 of them will take 23 wickets.
Yeah.
3 wicket खुद की.
Include Trent Bolt in
New Zealand की 20 wicket और 3 wicket खुद की जो वो खुद लेंगे. Bumrah will throw the ball at Shami when Shami is bowling and he'll be like 2 out हो गया.
Man, Bumrah made a 50. Okay, do not disrespect Bumrah. He has a 50 in Australia. This is more than Ashwin having a century in India. Okay, so
I just want to add something. In August, batting will be a lot easier. Okay, in England especially. So for that reason, going in with 5 pacers may not actually work. But I think going in with an extra batsman, as Shashank said initially, might be a pretty good option if they want to score 500, 600 runs and then put the other England in under pressure. But in terms of the World Test Championship, sorry again, Shashank, nahi hone wala. Jadeja, Ashwin, dono khelenge.
Absolutely. Or since we're on the World Test Championship, any thoughts on New Zealand? BJ Watling said he's going to retire after that game. And earlier in the chat, somebody said if he plays all 3 games, that is the 2 games of the England series before that, and then the World Test Championship, he'll become the most capped wicketkeeper in the world for Test matches. So hey, congratulations to him.
Yeah.
And thoughts on New Zealand. Some of them we'll talk about. We're going to see Trent Bolt, Neil Wagner, Kane Williamson, Ross Taylor. Kyle Jamieson.
Ross Taylor test में नहीं है ना?
Of course he is.
Oh हाँ, ठीक है, test में.
I think he's recovering from injury or he's injured right now, which is why they're not 100% if Ross Taylor will play. I think that's what Shashank you're referencing there.
Right. But these are mostly the players who I am excited about, especially Kyle Jamieson. Who apparently refused to bowl with a red ball to Virat Kohli.
Yeah, man.
In the nets at Bangalore.
Disrespect to King Kohli, man. This is not going to go down well. But can't Kohli just tell him that, he'll terminate his RCB contract if he doesn't bowl like full tosses?
Sure. I mean, that's what happens in international games.
You just have to go in the side and do it.
RCB captains goes to the opposition. Like, tu mere ko acha ball dal, nahi to tere ko contract nahi milega.
Man, you talk with
Zampa ko kya hua? Ho gaya na sideline wo. Uska wicket liya na Wankhede mein. To abhi Zampa nahi khelta RCB ke liye. उसको मतलब गेम टाइम के लिए तरस गया है वो
वो वापस
नहीं मिलता है। हाँ वो उसको तो वापस आ गया, बीच में से छोड़ के चला गया।
पार्ट टाइम कॉफी मेकर बन गया वो, सोच रहा है तू।
Aditya D coming with the question: should Avesh Khan go to England as a backup?
I think he is.
No man. There is a lot of first class averages and this and that is looked at, and before sending people for red ball cricket at least. So
Man,
I think he's in the squad. I think Avesh Khan's in the squad, isn't he?
As a backup, right?
As a backup, yeah, of course, as a backup, yeah. With Prasidh Krishna and
Prasidh Krishna, I think Avesh Khan is there as Prasidh Krishna's backup because Prasidh Krishna has tested positive. So I'm not so sure. It's Ishwaran, Nagaswala, Prasidh Krishna, and there are 4 backup players if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so Ishwaran, Krishna and Avesh Khan.
I might be wrong. Anyway, so yeah. So New Zealand का बात हो गया, ये बात हो गया. अभी the fact that India is going to play simultaneous white ball cricket, let's just, we don't know what the playing 11, we don't even know what the squad is going to be, so we're not going to mull over that too much, but I am just excited that they're doing this, and I think we're going to see some IPL players, IPL stars, Indian IPL stars who are going to be playing matches in Sri Lanka for India, so that's good for them. A lot fewer uncapped players next year in the IPL then, so that is going to be annoying if you're playing the fantasy because उसमें वो हर मैच में एक फ्री अनकैप्ड प्लेयर का ट्रांसफर मिलता था. बहुत सालों पहले भी ये रूल था, फिर बंद कर दिया, वापस ये साल इंट्रोड्यूस किया, मैं बहुत खुश हो गया. बट नेक्स्ट ईयर कोई साला अनकैप्ड रहेगा ही नहीं. ये साल भी ईशान किशन, सूर्य कुमार को खिला दिया और फिर त्रास आने लगा यार. बट या, thoughts on who do you think we'll see in the Sri Lanka series, Ashjar, from the IPL stars?
From the IPL stars, well, Prithvi Shaw comes in. I think Prithvi Shaw comes into this team because of the brilliance that he's shown. I think Sanju Samson might actually make some sort of
don't say that. If you say Sanju Samson's name around the Indian cricket team thrice, then something bad happens.
I've just said it once. I will make sure to call him the wicket keeper. Okay. So the wicket keeper gets in. Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav obviously will have to be there. There's a couple of players that I've got written down, right? And I'm thinking, do they give Vijay Shankar another chance anytime soon? Do you think they give Manish Pandey another chance? These are guys who I don't think they're going to give a chance to, but these could be someone that they consider. Hardik Pandya, Krunal Pandya. I think Krunal Pandya is a pretty good shout. If Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja aren't with them, then Krunal Pandya kind of gets in there. Is Varun Chakravarti okay? Like last I heard he was tested positive, and then after that I don't know what happened. So I hope he stays fit because I want to see him for India in some way, shape, or form. So these are a couple of the guys.
You will see him for India, as Akash's theory goes, that Varun Chakravarti is going to be wrapped up in cotton wool with injuries until the World Cup, and then he will be unleashed upon the world because he's a mystery spinner. So we don't want him to bowl in international conditions so that you guys can figure him out.
Man, Varun Chakravarti is the only player to fail a yo-yo test live on TV. Okay, so I don't know how. In that IPL match when Kolkata were playing, I don't know what team. So I don't know how he's going to pass the yo-yo test. But he'll definitely play one day. Maybe if not in this series, then the other series. But इस series में अगर fit है तो खेल ही लेगा. But yeah, interesting. Who will be the captain? You think Shikhar Dhawan? Lot of thigh slapping, man. Like every time he wins the toss, he slaps his thigh. ऐसा. That'll be like lovely.
By the way,
I mean, if India,
Shreyas Iyer, if he's fit,
उसको अभी नहीं बनाएंगे.
अच्छा,
कैप्टन नहीं बनाएंगे यार.
तो कौन कैप्टन? तो कौन करेगा कैप्टनसी ब्रो?
शिखर will be captain.
शिखर ही, हाँ तो शिखर ही कह रहा हूँ मैं. शिखर ही कह रहा हूँ.
Maybe Bhuvi also.
नहीं. Bhuvi हाँ, but then he's never been captain. तो श्रेयस तो फिट ही नहीं है ना अभी इसके लिए, श्रीलंका के लिए भी. He's not
I
fit.
still don't think he's fit.
No.
But it's still, yeah, there's no announcement, right? So I'm not sure about any of this. So we'll just wait for the announcement. There are a bunch of people doing predictions. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But excitement तो बहुत ही है. आगे क्या होने वाला है उसके लिए.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah. Sorry, Aditya, I read your question incorrectly. His question about Avesh Khan was, should Avesh Khan be going as a net bowler / this guy rather than make him play white ball? So he's saying he's already going. Why not make him? The similar question I had about KL Rahul. Why make him go there instead of making him play white ball cricket here? So yeah, but I think we already answered that question a little bit. He's going now. He's going. उसको opportunity मिल रहा है इंग्लैंड जाने का. Rather than going to Sri Lanka, he'll go get to eat,
Yeah.
some nice haggis and blood pudding and all of that. So let him have fun.
Man. Just another pleasure to watch India embarrassing themselves in England, man. Like just failing to chase 50 in the
You think that's what's going to happen? Oh man, what a world are you living in? This is no longer 90s India. Okay, no kids will remember this, but if this is India, who is going to?
The first time Dravid has made a prediction for the India-England series 3-2. Probably, I think the first time he's made a prediction. So
3-2 which way?
India.
That's what I think. That's what I thought as well. I don't think England is going to win this series. It's going to be very difficult for England to win.
I think 3-1 England, I feel. Yeah.
Really?
Very difficult to win in England because then, I mean, look, it's who's your batsman against Anderson and Broad in England? Like, who do you have in form apart from Kohli?
Okay.
There's no one.
Ashwin.
Like, Ashwin.
Ashwin.
Yeah, but Ashwin can Ashwin can win as the series if he conquers all the points. That is the only
sweep. Jofra Archer now. He's going to reverse sweep Jofra Archer over everyone's head. You just see. Yeah, he's going to reverse sweep him over mid wicket also.
Anything in
Bhargav K asking Shashank why so negative, right? Right, Shashank, why so negative, man?
Man, if you've seen India go to England, okay, I watched the entire 2014 series, okay, when we lost 4-0. I watched the entire 2018 series. And look, man, it's okay to be hopeful, but it's also important to be realistic. Like, I mean, yeah, this is what I feel. And ठीक है, देखेंगे. I mean,
029 Harsh Khawas saying, ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लिए भी यही बोल रहे थे सब. तू वही है, तेरा ट्विटर पे फेस चिपकाएंगे आफ्टर द सीरीज. आई एम गोइंग टू होल्ड यू बोथ टू दीज predictions that you all have made. And if if the prediction is not right, like, we will get them to bombard your social media with hate. How dare you?
That sounds good. Tanmay Deshpande is asking, why is this guy with an accent? So I don't know. Like, I've been here 20 years, so maybe that's why I picked up the accent. So yeah, I just thought I'd answer that because I thought that was kind of funny. That's all.
Yeah. Sayan Bera asking, Akash किधर है? पता नहीं, उसको पूछो. कहीं तो होगा वो.
Akash is busy making conspiracy theories, man. Takes time to come up with such bullshit. थोड़ा लगेगा टाइम, देखिए ना ऐसा.
It's not going to be easy for India to win, but I feel this is the best chance. Yeah, man, that's true.
This is exactly how you feel before a tough exam, man. I get it. Okay, I get it. This is what you feel. Like, you've not prepared, but you feel this time will be different. But then, like, you go in and then you come out and then the results are out and you're like, next time will be different. So, I don't know, man.
No time aayega, right?
I'm talking from experience. So yeah, guys, we are coming to the end of our stream. I would like to thank both of you for joining us here. It has been wonderful having you here, Asjad. This conversation has been fantastic. Even chat has enjoyed it. They have said such good things about cricket conversation, which is apparently not a thing we do, even though we host a cricket podcast. So hey, thanks a lot, man. It's been a pleasure.
बट मजा आया, काफी फन कॉन्वर्सेशन यार, बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत ही बढ़िया कॉन्वर्सेशन।
Absolutely.
It was my pleasure. Obviously, मैंने शुरू में भी कहा था, it's like now I've made it. Like in my life, I'm on Couch Pundits. I've made it now. Now I can relax. Now I can chill.
Now you can retire unlike Dhoni, man.
Exactly. I've reached the peak and now I can go rather than no farewell.
Absolutely. And when Ajit said that I have made it, मेरे को लगा, oh, somebody thinks that they have made it when they have been asked to come on my podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think I have made it. That's what was going through my head. So yeah, thanks a lot, man, and thank you, Shashank, as always, for joining us. And yeah, before we go, there are all the social media handles of all the people in the comments description section. Yeah, description section of this video. And please go ahead and follow all of them. If you like what we're doing, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more cricket content and other sports content which we are doing, subscribe to the channel. It's a new channel. We're trying to build it up, so it will be of great help if you subscribe to it. And we will be back this Sunday with more F1 related content, so stay tuned for that. And thank you and good night.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's the end. It's the end.
हो गया?
Done.